I slammed on the brakes so hard my coffee went flying. Right there, dead center of the curve on Route 47, was an orange cat with 4 tiny kittens scattered around her like she was holding some kind of death wish family picnic. Cars were swerving, horns blaring, and she just sat there, staring at me through my windshield with these enormous green eyes that made my stomach drop. I threw on my hazards and jumped out, hands up, to slow the pickup truck barreling toward us. The driver leaned on his horn, screaming something I couldn't hear over the blood pounding in my ears. I ran toward the cat, arms outstretched, making those stupid kissing noises you make when you're desperate. She grabbed the nearest kitten by the scruff, bolted into the tall grass on the shoulder, and vanished. The other 3 babies scattered like dandelion seeds. Gone, just like that. I stood there in the middle of the road, shaking, while a semi roared past close enough that the wind whipped my hair across my face. The driver flipped me off. Fair enough. I looked insane, but I'd seen those kittens. They were maybe 3 weeks old, eyes barely open. And that mama cat had just risked all their lives to sit in the exact worst spot on the most dangerous stretch of rural highway in the county. Asterisk. What the hell was she thinking? Asterisk. I searched the grass for 20 minutes. Nothing. Not a single mew. I finally gave up and drove to work an hour late, reeking of ditch water and anxiety. My manager didn't even ask. The look on my face said enough. But here's the thing. The next morning, same time, same place, there she was again. Same orange cat, same for kittens, same suicidal spot on Route 47, right where the curve tightens and the speed limit means absolutely nothing to the gravel trucks that use this road as a shortcut. Première poulet d'Auvet. Slower this time, she watched how I car like she'd been expecting me. I took 3 steps toward her and she scooped up a kitten and disappeared into the weeds. The others followed, tiny puffballs tumbling over themselves to keep up. This became my routine. Every single weekday morning at 7:15 a.m., there she was. I started leaving 10 minutes early just to account for the stop. I brought a carrier, I brought tuna, I brought a blanket and soft food and a baby bottle with kitten formula, because maybe she was starving and desperate. She'd let me get within 6 feet, close enough to see the tiny white patch on her chest, close enough to hear her raspy purr. And then she'd vanish the second I reached for her babies. Other drivers started recognizing my car. One guy rolled down his window and yelled, "Give it up, lady. That cat's feral." A woman in a minivan actually stopped one morning, asked if I needed help, then told me I was wasting my time. "Cats like that don't want saving," she said, like she had a PhD in stray cat psychology. I wanted to scream at her that these babies were going to die out here, that it was only a matter of time before someone didn't see them, before a fox or a hawk got brave, before the weather turned. But I just nodded and said thanks and waited for her to leave so I could go back to my failing rescue mission. By week 2, I was obsessed. I'd lie awake at night, seeing those kittens in my headlights, imagining the sound of tiny bones under tires. I called every rescue in the county, all full. I posted on Facebook, dozens of shares, 0 solutions. "Just grab the kittens." Someone commented, "Mama will follow." Except she wouldn't. I tried. The second I touched one of those babies, she'd let out this guttural yowl that made my teeth ache, and the kitten would squirm so hard I was afraid I'd hurt it. I couldn't force this. Something in my gut told me forcing it would break whatever fragile thing was happening here. Because here's what was weird. She wasn't afraid of me. Not really. She'd eat the food I left. She'd sit there while I talked to her in that ridiculous, high-pitched voice people use with animals. She'd even slow blink at me, that cat thing that supposedly means I trust you. But the second I reached for her babies, the wall went up. It was like she wanted me there, but on her terms. only her terms. On day 9, I sat in the grass 10 feet away from her and just watched. The kittens were getting braver, wobbling around on unsteady legs, pouncing on each other, chewing on her ears. She was so patient with them, so careful. One of them, a little grey tabby with white socks, tumbled right toward me. I held my breath. The mama cat's eyes locked on mine. Asterisk don't. Asterisk I thought. Asterisk. Please don't run. Asterisk the kitten batted at my shoelace. She didn't move. She just watched me, head tilted, like she was deciding something. That's when I noticed her back leg. The way she held it when she stood. A slight favor, barely noticeable, but there. And when she shifted her weight, I saw it. A scar, old, faded, but unmistakable. It ran from her ankle to her paw, a thick line of bare skin where the fur had never grown back. My heart stopped. I fumbled for my phone, hands shaking so hard I almost dropped it. I scrolled back through my photos. 3 years, 4, 5, there. A picture I'd taken at the emergency vet clinic in 2020, holding a tiny orange kitten with a shattered back leg. The vet had said she'd been hit by a car, dragged herself to the shoulder, and a truck driver had found her and called it in. I'd sat with her for 3 hours while they set the bone, paid the bill because the driver couldn't afford it, and I couldn't leave her there. And then I'd posted her on every adoption site I could find. A family to towns over had taken her in.
Yes,
I'd gotten updates for a few months. Photos of her playing with their kids. Her name was Mango. I looked up from my phone. The cat was still staring at me. The scar on her back leg, the white patch on her chest, the exact same raspy purr. Asterisk, oh my God. Asterisk Mango. I whispered. Her ears swiveled forward. Is that you? She stood up, took to limping steps toward me, and headbutted my knee so hard I almost cried. It was her. This was the kitten I'd saved 5 years ago. She'd come back, and she wasn't lost. She wasn't confused. She was waiting. For me. She'd been waiting for me every single morning at the exact spot where I'd found her, with her babies, because she remembered. She remembered that I was the one who'd helped her. She trusted me, and she'd brought her kittens to the only person she believed could save them. I sat down in the grass and sobbed, not cute crying, ugly, snotty, gasping sobs that scared the kittens into a huddle. Mango climbed into my lap, purring so loud it rattled her whole body, and rubbed her face against my chin. You came back, I choked out. You came all the way back here. I thought about the family who'd adopted her. Had she run away? Had they moved and left her behind? It didn't matter. What mattered was this. She'd walked God knows how many miles. Probably pregnant. Probably in pain with that old injury flaring up. And she'd planted herself on this road every single day at the exact time I drove to work, because she'd remembered. She'd bet everything on me showing up. And I had. I reached for the carrier I'd left on the shoulder. Mango didn't run. She watched me open it, sniffed it, and then gently, so gently, picked up the first kitten and placed it inside. I swear I stopped breathing. She grabbed the second one, then the third, then the fourth. The little grey tabby with the white socks mewed as she set him down with his siblings. And Mango looked at me like, asterisk C. I trust you. I've always trusted you. Asterisk, she climbed in last, circled twice, and curled around her babies like a furry shield. I closed the carrier, hands shaking, and carried them to my car. She didn't make a sound. No yowling, no panic, just that same rattling purr. I called work from the parking lot of the vet clinic and told them I wouldn't be in. I didn't care if they fired me. Mango and her kittens got full checkups, vaccinations, flea treatments, the works. The vet recognized her from the old records. I remember this girl, he said, scratching under her chin. She was a fighter. Looks like she still is. All for kittens were healthy. Mango had a mild limp and some dental issues. Probably from malnutrition, but nothing that couldn't be managed. "You're taking them home?" he asked. I nodded. I was taking all of them home. I set up my guest bathroom with blankets, a litter box, food, water, toys. Mango explored every inch of it, sniffed the bathtub, tested the softness of the towels, and then hopped into the cardboard box I'd lined with fleece and settled in with her babies. She looked at me, blinked slowly, and closed her eyes. Asterisk safe. Asterisk finally safe. I sat on the floor and watched them for hours. The kittens nursed and wrestled and slept in a pile. Mango kept one paw on me the whole time, like she was afraid I'd disappear if she let go. Over the next few weeks, I found homes for the kittens. Good homes. I vetted every single person like I was running a background check for the FBI. The gray tabby with the white socks went to a retired teacher who sent me daily photo updates. The other 3 went to families with kids who promised to spoil them rotten. And Mango stayed with me. She sleeps on my pillow every night, purrs in my ear every morning, and follows me from room to room like a shadow. Sometimes she sits by the window and stares out at the road, and I wonder if she's thinking about that curve on Route 47, if she's proud of herself, if she knows what she did, because she didn't just save her kittens. She reminded me why I do this, why I stop, why I try, because sometimes, against all odds, it works. Sometimes, love comes back. Sometimes, an animal remembers. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had an animal come back into your life in a way you never expected? Maybe a stray you helped, or a pet you thought you'd lost. Drop your story in the comments, because I know I'm not the only one who's experienced this kind of magic. And if this story made feel even a fraction of what I felt that morning in the grass with Mango, do-me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next rescue, and smash that bell because trust me, you're going to want to see what happens next. Thanks for being here. Thanks for caring. Andre Montbert. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can echo for years. You just never know when it's going to come back to you.